In this video, we're going to take a look at my custom Marvel vs. Capcom Arcade1Up arcade cabinet. This is Steve from Restalgia, and let's get started. Alright guys, so as you can see here, I created a Marvel vs. Capcom Arcade1Up cabinet. I had a lot of fun doing it. I want to give a big shout out to a few different people, DIY Retro Arcade, ArcadeGraphics.com, as well as ABOX, who've helped me get all the parts that I needed in order to make this mod. So as you can see, my base unit was an Asteroids cabinet. It was one of the ones that I was able to get a little bit easier, and the price point was a little bit lower, so this is the one that I decided to mod. So I'm not going to bore you guys with the entire assembly because lots of people have seen it, and ETA Prime did a really thorough tutorial on how to get everything set up. But essentially all I had to do was get all the vinyls, put them on to the original pieces, and get them cut out and put them into place. And as you can see, the vinyls look absolutely stunning. So we've got the kick plate here, which has beautiful graphics. Then when you move on up, you've got just a really nice design right where I've put in the push for credit buttons, and it looks really sharp with a nice Marvel vs. Capcom design. The right side panel is absolutely fantastic. It shows off all the different Capcom characters. There was a tremendous amount of thought put into this, and this specific design, as I mentioned, I picked up from ArcadeGraphics.com. If you hop on over to their website, you can actually find this exact design, and they usually have a bunch of different promotions that you guys can get set up. I'll leave a link in the description to a Facebook group where they often leave discounts for different events and things like that. Definitely check them out. On the left hand side of the cabinet, we've got all the Marvel artwork, so you can see Spider-Man, Iron Man, we're going to see Wolverine. We've got a ton of awesome characters here, and things just look absolutely stunning. I really do like this artwork quite a bit. Even the marquee, it's very simple. It's just the Marvel vs. Capcom logo, but it fits with the cabinet. You don't need anything flashy. Just the plain logo on a black background looks awesome. The bezel around the LCD screen is quite the same. You have a few pictures of different characters. You're going to have, again, your Marvel vs. Capcom logo, and it's just pretty much a black bezel. It looks really nice and sharp, really awesome. I definitely like that they didn't oversaturate the bezel. Getting into the control panel, as you can see, we've got Wolverine on the left-hand side, and we've got our 6-button layout. We've got our Marvel vs. Capcom along the bottom. Along the top, you're going to notice by the start buttons, I installed 2 USB adapters, and that I will talk about a little bit later. But in general, this build looks really, really nice. I decided to go ahead with the red and white color scheme just for personal preference. I think it made it look the best. But one of my favorite features of this arcade cabinet is the light up push for credit buttons, which I'm using in place of my select buttons. I absolutely love these things. What I've gone ahead and done is I've loaded mine up obviously with a Raspberry Pi. I know I could have used the PC, I could have used a lot of different things, but I had an extra Raspberry Pi laying around. I figured let's go ahead and get this built up, and of course if I ever want to change it, I just got to pull it out and throw something else in there. So I did grab a really awesome build from Supreme Builds. Kyo Deakin had an awesome build up on Arcade Punks. I went ahead and took that. It was an arcade only build, and I added a bunch of other consoles that I thought would work well with the arcade control layout. So I've got a bunch of different things in there. If you guys want a little bit more information about the build itself, or if you guys want me to go ahead and post the build on Arcade Punks so you guys can just download it and load it up onto your own build, just let me know in the comment section below. I'd be happy to do a video showing exactly what I've put into it, and I can go ahead and get that uploaded with the guys at Arcade Punks if you guys want to see it. But what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to talk about the actual build here now. So as you can see here, I've got 2 speakers set up. I've got my left channel, my right channel speaker, so my audio comes out properly in stereo. I've also got this volume adjuster here, and I've gone ahead and made it so it's accessible from the outside of the unit, which I thought was really important. I've seen a lot of other builds where this is kind of hidden inside of it. With the coin mechanism door or something else, you got to open up the back or you've got to access it some way or another. I definitely didn't want to do that. I wanted it to be accessible right from the outside. Additionally, I've also got the power button over here that controls everything. So when the console is completely off and I hit that switch, everything is going to turn completely on. Now you still have to power down your Raspberry Pi through the software before you go ahead and hit that switch, but that's a kill switch for everything else. Now we're going to take a peek at the inside of the cabinet. I've done my best to clean up the wires as best as possible, and I want to give a big shout out to Retro Ralph. He sent me a link for a few of the cable management pieces, and they actually work really well, so I'll leave some links for those in the description down below as well. But as you can see, we've got our Raspberry Pi here. I know it's not the most powerful thing on the market, but it was definitely the right thing for this build in my opinion. I want to give a big shout out to ABOX. This is a really good kit if you guys are looking to do something like this. It comes with pretty much everything that you're going to need right in the box, with the exception of the memory card size that you need. You're going to get a Raspberry Pi 3B Plus, and that's right there, brand new in the box. You're going to get a power cord, which also has a switch built into it, which can be handy if you need a kill switch on your Raspberry Pi. You're going to get an HDMI cable, which is, again, something you need for this build. You're also going to get some heat sinks for your Raspberry Pi, which is important because the Pi runs pretty hot when you're playing some of those arcade games. We're also going to get this really neat clear case. So this is just something that is going to save you a little bit of trouble. You throw your Raspberry Pi in there, you mount this to the side of the arcade cabinet, and you're good to go. It's definitely worthwhile. And you are also going to get a micro SD card and the adapter to plug it into your computer. Now 16 gigs is what came in this box. I know they sell 32 gig kits, but I don't think they have anything higher than that, so the memory card may or may not be usable depending on what size build you guys are going for. You get a little instruction manual. Not that this is entirely necessary, but it is nice that they throw it in there. It's pretty neat. Definitely awesome little kit that we've got here from ABOX. Shout out to them. They sent this off to me for free, so thank you guys again. It's a great kit. So as you can see, I've got that mounted with the power cord with that switch, and it's kind of hidden away. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the build. So those buttons, those arcade buttons that I have that are connected to power, are actually going to be running through a 12 volt here. And sorry about the camera angles here. I don't know what I was thinking when I was filming this. But that's pretty much all you needed to do, is just get them a 12 volt power supply, and then you can daisy chain them. And then if we take a look at the actual control panel, it's all relatively simple. We've just got some basic USB encoders with the USBs extensions. All I've done is reroute them, and I've just popped them right into the Pi. So setting up a USB encoder is really simple. Just remember that if you're doing it with a Raspberry Pi, if you're going to be setting up button A on one controller, you want it plugged into the same encoder on the second controller encoder as well, just so that way it doesn't get confused. Next, we're going to take a look at the audio. So I've got a 3.5mm jack running all the way up into my little amplifier here. I didn't use the one that a lot of people are using, the bigger one. I just found this small one. I thought it would work. It's got the outputs for the two different speakers, and it just works really well. I needed to shave a little bit off of the board in order for it to stick out properly so I could mount it, but that only took like an X-Acto knife and 15 minutes worth of time, so that was no trouble at all. Next, wiring the power switch was really easy. I just took my main power line coming in, I connected that to the 2 pins, and then I have another surge protector connected into the secondary, the 3rd and 4th pin. And that, as you can see, the surge protector kind of comes on down to the side of the unit, and everything's plugged into that. Once you hit that power switch, it kills that surge protector, which kills everything on the inside as well. I also included one of these 5-volt out additional power supplies just in case I need it later, but generally this build was actually pretty simple. Everything worked out really, really well. The games play really, really well on this thing. As you can see, I've got NFL Blitz 2001 playing on it. Now this is the PS1 version, but the gameplay is really good, and I definitely like it. DIY Retro Arcade is the company that I got all the buttons, the joysticks, the USB extenders, everything from essentially, and they feel really good. So definitely very happy with the quality there. So a big shout out again to them. If you guys want to go ahead and check out some of the stuff that they've got, I'm going to leave links to everything in the description down below. Reach out to them. They will help you get all the parts that you need. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I didn't think this video would be complete unless I actually had some Marvel vs. Capcom playing on my Marvel vs. Capcom arcade cabinet. So I'm going to show you guys a little bit of that footage. This is the actual arcade game. This isn't the PS1 version or anything like that. The game plays really well. If you guys have played around with the Raspberry Pi, that's not news to you. But this build in general is just a really fun, awesome build. So again, if you guys are interested in seeing exactly what I've included in the build that I've done for this Arcade1Up, just let me know in the comment section below. I'm happy to do a short little video showing you everything that I've kind of added into it. And then if you guys want access to it, I can go ahead and see if I can get that uploaded for you guys. But that's pretty much all I've got for you in this video. Thank you so very much for watching. I do have to say this is probably one of the most fun projects that I've worked on in quite a while. So if you guys are on the fence about doing this, definitely pick it up. Definitely grab your Arcade1Up cabinet. If you can get one on clearance, do it and make yourself a custom arcade cabinet. But thank you so very much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Give the video a thumbs up, and I'll talk to you guys again real soon.